Good morning, everyone. QW here with Islands of Insight. Uh, I'm back at the Lost Grids area, so you know what? I'm just going to keep doing that. There are a ton of these. I think there's like 300 Lost Grid puzzles, and they reload every time I reload the game. Well, this will overload. These will both overload up top, so let's make sure the sixes don't do that. These two sixes at the top left are going to have to merge with these two right here, because to merge them with the ones lower, we would overload no matter what we do. So it's going to go here and there. That's what's going to have to be. This... Yep, that's forced now. That'll overload. In this area, these two are going to have to merge with these two, which is going to force us to do this. Well, we could move it further down, but I think that's the best option. This is an overload, so there we go. That means this can no longer merge here. Let's just do this. A lot of sixes. Ooh, a big one. Well, let's block the ones off to start. All dark regions of area 2. Okay, that's the only rule. The rest of them are just following the symbols. So that means we have to block these. These could go either direction. Is that all? So the A... Okay. So the A can't cross the B plane here. So the B is going to come through this direction. The A has to come out. The A is going to have to come through here. I'm not sure. The A is not going to be able to touch the 4 either. So the A has to come through here. And it can't touch this 4. It's going to have to come... Oh dear. It's going to have to come through here. The A. Yeah, there's no way... It could come through this section here, but it can't touch the 4. It also can't go through here, so it does... In fact, it will have to cut through here. Oh boy, it's going to be interesting. Which means that it has to go... Oh, like so. This is the A. Has to be symmetrical no matter what we do. This is symmetrical. Can't touch this 4. Yeah, I don't think the A is going to come through here. The A is going to come through this center piece. Which direction are we going to go from here? Not entirely sure. Here or there? Well, oh, hold on. Let's focus on the dark regions of having area 2. So we know that we have to do this. So we know we actually have to bring it out. So I think so far so good. We do have to connect this. Oh dear. So we're going to have to go like so. This is forced. This is an acceptable move. That would be this piece here. Where do we go from here? I see. So this would overload here. So we're going to put a black in the center there. Okay, so we've got that. That means this does have to go all the way to there. These are done. They can't, so they can connect there. Okay, so far so good. Now we know that this section's complete. So this A, they're gonna have to go through this central area. Yeah, I don't see any way we can go through the corners, because going through the corners means going through this 10, and we are way above 10. So we're gonna have to go through this central part. So these are forced. That gives us those dark squares. The 4 is done. Now these dark cells are done. So we have to come through this way. All seems good so far. Now how do we know what to do in this section? This section corresponds to this section, so there's going to be a 4 piece somewhere in here as well. How am I going to do it? Let's start up here, see what happens. It needs to be like this because this A piece needs to move here. I think it's going to have to be. If this isn't completely symmetrical in here, like it's possible if we were to somehow block off the A both up here and down here, we'd be able to make whatever we want out of this, but we're not able to completely block it off. So we're going to do that. Now, if I could block this off. Hold on, before we get into any of this. I know this is what has to happen. If I block this off, if I block it off like this, right? That's going to be tricky to do. I'm trying to think, like, if I block this here, we would be forced there. Which is fine for this 4, right? These have to be white. These have to be white. That's fine. And then down here, I can do it this way. So now, over here, can I make this the same? So we have to have these 4, then these 4. Or these 2 and these 2. We have to do these 2. And then as long as we do it this way, I don't have to put black squares here because we don't care. It's not matching the A. So we get 7, and then we match the rest of this square like so. And then this is where that 4 piece goes. The rest of it is white. And so far, the A is completely done. There we are. I actually really liked that one. I mean, it took a long time to do, really can't think about it. But I liked the puzzle there. I don't know why that one was removed from the game. Because that's what Lost Grids are. For those of you who aren't following along with every single video, obviously. Let's see. How am I supposed to get this one started? Even if I go 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Huh. Like, what do I do? Like, I can't make diagonals of white. I can't make 3 in a row of black. Where would I start? Oh, like, why would this be wrong? Ah, because then I couldn't do this. So what am I trying to do here? But now the challenge is I can't do this. Nah. So what am I supposed to do here? Yeah, this is annoying. This isn't like, oh, let me think about this puzzle. This is just annoying. Like, what if it goes through there? I can still do this, but then I do have to block these. But then I can't block. Yeah, I can't block 2 of these. This piece is annoying. Like, am I supposed to come around this way? I'm not sure how I'd make this work because I'm blocking that. This of course is where we're gonna run into trouble, because now we have to put 2 down here. We'd have to, unless we do this. But then how do I block that? Then I can't do that. That's it? This doesn't even feel right. I don't like that at all. Man, after coming out of that puzzle, which was amazing, this one sucks. Anyway, the lost grids are supposed to be grids that were created for the game and then removed during the production at some point. So 1 to 5. We have to go there. Hold on. I can't do that. Is this all I care about? Is the viewpoint numbers? That would overload. That's got to go there. Go here. If I did this, I would still need 1 more, and I can't do both of those. I'd have to do like this. And that would overload. So it's not going to be that one. It's going to be this one here. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, some of these were being removed from the game makes sense to me, because they're really just not interesting puzzles. Either they're like way too easy, or they're difficult in a way that's not fun. Means this has to go. I'm supposed to be able to figure out another piece of this. This probably can't be white, because... No, it could. Oh, it's connect all dark cells as well, which means we could connect them here, but if we didn't... If we had this piece here, we'd be in trouble. So that's got to be a dark cell, so we know we have to have this. This would still be fine. I'm supposed to fill 6 more in? Like, I could do this, right? Well, if I did this... Nah, this actually has to be dark. Two more. I don't know what the 2 are going to be. This would be possible. But so would this. I think this has to be dark. Okay, this is annoying. Is this one supposed to be dark? That's right. There's no way this could be light. So would it connect to, I guess? I don't get it. I just don't. I really dislike undercloud grids. I've mentioned every time I do them. They started out okay when they were just like tutorials, but they just get to a point where it doesn't feel like you're solving a puzzle. It feels like you're wasting your time. And they don't get any better. Area numbers, all I gotta worry about. So is there any way this was white? If this was white, it would have to go around, and then we would be in trouble here. So this has got to be dark. Like so. So we gotta go through here. Cool. Let's do a few more of these. Connect dark cells. That's all I gotta worry about here. Oh, I can't connect there. Oh, it's gotta escape. That's gotta be a dark cell. Oh, wrong color. Okay, so far so good. Oh, this is a pretty basic one. I was waiting for a twist. Are there any others I should be able to grab? Oh, I've done every single pattern grid. They haven't reloaded any. Interesting. Grab a few more of these. 8. Don't make diagonals. Okay. That's a simple enough pattern it shouldn't piss me off to do. 16 tiles. Oh, it's underclued. I hate that so much. Well, that means it's got to be, like, I can't go this direction, because then it would force me to be only vertical, and there aren't enough tiles vertically. It's only enough this direction, which means these are also filled. There's 2 more, I think, there. That's really annoying. Even though that one was easy, it's still annoying. It's just not fun. Alright, area numbers. Let's see. These 3s could be connected. 24 and 26. Oh dear. I don't have to connect all dark cells or any of that. So it's possible to put a dark cell here because I can still fit those in. Where am I going to get this figured out? Where's my break-in? This 3 can go down. It can go down around this way just fine. Or this way just fine. The 24 here eventually has to move down at least 1 space, which means the 26 does have to come through here. That is going to be forced, because the 24 has got to go through here. Alright, there's just no way it's going to fit any other way. I could make the 26 bump up these, but I'm just not totally sure yet. Or the 24 could take them. So what does this tell me in here? Not really a lot. .26 could come up this far, but it also it can't come up here because this has to escape, so it has to go at least this far. But it could come up here now. Well, the 26 is going to have to escape. It can't. It can go this far, but it can't. It has to come up through here, no matter what happens. So we do now have to force this direction. It's going to force the 5 out this way at least once. And this here is required. Could fill those both in, or I could fill in 1 there. It's hard to say. Actually, the 5 can only move up 1 more space here. So that's as far as that'll go. This 26 has to come through here because the 4 is in the way. Which means it has to come through this direction. The 4 has to move down. Oh, now the 4 doesn't have enough space. So maybe it's like this, and the 5 is here. Now that's the 3. Okay. This would be disastrous, right? Because we have 10 spaces here. No matter what I fill in, we need more. So I can't put a white square here. We're going to have to come out this way. And this way. So now the 4 must be these. Or at least it'll go this far. 4 at least has to go that far. Right, because we got 14 spaces here. No matter what we fill in here, we still got to keep moving. This will have to go. So yeah, the 4 does in fact go here. So if I got 19 of this, how do I get 7 more in this space? This one's at 15. Even if I filled in as much as I could, we'd only be at 18. So I do have to fill in some more. So I've got 18. I think I've got to fill it in here. 19. So let's see what we can do here. If I put this, I give myself more space to play like this. 26. Okay, so where do I get one more space? Is there any way I can connect something up here? I don't think so, because I'd have to put a dark cell here. Where do I have space to do anything funny? I really feel like I'm wasting some space somewhere in here. This would be the one. If I do this, it's just ruins. I don't think this will save me any space anywhere else. This space here, now I'm over. This is exactly 26. Where do I have room for the 24? If I do it like this, then where do I have room to put an extra piece here? This is but this touches the 5. Was there a way to ever get this? There wasn't a way for this 4 to do anything else. Because if 4 moves out, I don't have space to get the 26 and 24 out. 4 here. There's nowhere else it can go. There's something about my spacing that just doesn't work here. Like if I bring this up, I really gotta mess with this. So there's no way that that's gonna work. If I restart and try this again from the beginning, I don't think I'm gonna get any different answer. There's just something about my setup that doesn't work. I need another piece. So, what's missing in this setup here? Because again, we need to come through, because 24 can't come through in any other way. We need to come like so. There's no way, because if 26 goes up here, that's fine. Or here. What if it went up here as soon as possible? I think that's what I already had. What if I tried this way? Bring it up a little later. Well, now I'm screwed. So I'd actually have to bring it like... It would have to be like this, which would force the 5 up, which means the 4 now is in trouble. Unless... This might already be what I've done. Was there any way to get... Because if I bring this up immediately... Then this is what we have. And we're in a similar position as before. That means we still have... Yeah, this is exactly the same. Is there any way to do this corner differently? If I bring this over one more... this can't be here, because then there's no way to get through. So I do have to bring this up. Which means I do have to bring 26 through here. Now if I bring it this way and get a double piece in, I have to do this with the 5. And there's no way for me to get the 4 in. 4 is out of space. So I can't do this. This still is forced. I don't see any other way out of this. Don't see any way out of this or that. So we're in the exact same position we were before. I can do as much as I can here. I'm making an assumption somewhere I shouldn't be making, but I don't know where that assumption is. So far, it feels like everything I've done has been the only move I can do. This can't be a white cell because we blocked that, so we know that much. This has to go. Now, if I did it this way, then I'm blocked here. So I do, in fact, have to come around. Am I at 24 yet? I'm at 23. So yeah, I'm in the same position as before. I'm actually even shorter than I was last time. Last time I was just short by 1. If I... It's still only 22. I don't really have anywhere else. If I do it this way... Am I getting... Oh, it's 29. Hold on. 23. That gives me an extra piece. Is there any other thing I can do in here? I give myself as much space here. Still need to bring this around. Which one's it? Oh, this piece right here. That's it. I think there was something down here I did last time I didn't understand fully, so I ended up taking way longer than I needed to at this puzzle. I think that's a good one, though. I really struggled with it, but I think it's a good puzzle. Alright, well that's simple. Don't make... What? So I can't do this? Yeah. I also can't do that. How many spaces is in between that? Is it 2 or 3? I think it's 3? Yeah, I can't... Okay, that's really annoying. Come on, man. So that means I can't do this or that. So I have to spread them out. But now this is done. Is that... Is this fine? Can I just do this? Well, not here. I gotta figure out... I was just guessing on a lot of that. So we have to do these things. Can't do that. Can't have 2 at any point. They gotta be spread out. Like this? Well, then this would have to be... Yeah, I can't do that. I have to do this, and I have to do this. That's for sure. And then this is done. But I can't, I can do this as much. I just can't do it here. I have to spread them out. But there's no guarantee of where they're being spread out to. What if I set this up? Does this inform anything? Can't be here. These can't be together either. So this has to be a dark cell. Then these have to be spread out. That means those have to be... Okay, this is just annoying. One of the ones removed from the game for a good reason. Okay, this is hard to look at. No white squares, and that's all. The rest of this just kind of does itself. 7, 8, 9 down, so we have to move this far out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it has to go there. Okay. This is done. This is done. That means this has to go all the way out. Complete. There. Okay, so this can't connect here. We know that much. Okay, so the A is going to have to cut through this corner. Right? Because if we do this, well, first of all, it overloads. But we're going to have to get this A down here somehow. A can't connect to any of those. So A is going to have to connect down through here. And through here. Really? Like so. We can't connect to the B. It's got to go at least that far. That means... That's got to go. That's got to go. Okay, so the B is almost complete. Can't connect it here. B can't connect there or there. So this is done. So now we just got to worry about getting the A. Oh. Okay. Wasn't as hard as it looked. It was just a lot of stuff to look at once. I've been here for half an hour. Here, let me just continue. Let's just make this a lot of lost grids. Those are fun. I mean, I like them. I can't say that's really fun to watch, but you know what? I don't care. Connect dark cells and no... Okay, so white rectangles only. No bends. Not really a fan of this shape because it tends to make puzzles a lot of trial and error in a lot of places, but I can't do this because then I'd have to do this. So I got to make a bunch of straight lines. I can do that with this 5, right? I can do it with this 5. Oh, I got to connect all dark cells though. Like, I can do it this way. I can do it this way. So now how do I do this? Do I do them as straight lines? I can do them as straight lines. Irritating. It wasn't hard, but it's still irritating to do that. 4. So if I move this white cell down below the 4, I'm screwed. I can't put a white cell anywhere because I have to do symmetry, and I can't connect to the 7. So this has to be a dark cell. So we're going to have either these two or these two. 5 to start with has to be here. This would make it impossible to make a symmetrical piece. We can't do one there. So it's either these two or these two. We got to make that symmetrical. 6. We could bring 2 more to the back, or we could just do this. This 5's got to be there. We can't put this piece or we'd make it impossible to make a symmetry. So it's either these two or these two. So now the 10. Connect all dark cells does force us to make these choices. I can't bring the dark cells around because I wouldn't be able to make symmetry, so it's got to come up this way. The furthest back it can go is here, because I could make this thing happen. Can't make dark squares either. I can put white cells that aren't connected to these guys. It's fine. So I don't have to worry about, like, oh, if I do this, and I have, like, which... How do I fill this in from... It's not, it doesn't have to be from the 7. It could just be its own thing. That's about as far as that can go. I mean, it's not going to do that because then it would run into trouble with this 5. If I did it this way, though, I would give myself the most possible space for this 10. And now I have the ability to do this. I could be doing like this. Yep. That's the end of that puzzle. Do I want to just make this? I'm going to make it just a lost grids thing. This video will be a little shorter and we only lost grids. This 3, this overload, connect dark cells. Okay. I got to come through here. Oops, wrong color. That can't connect. That would overload. That would overload. That would overload. Well, I guess it's on the easier side, yeah. It's got to move out at least once. That can't go. Easy puzzle. Well, that's an easy one. Ah. Numbers. Excuse me. I could put this one here. And only have one dark cell here. It can't be this one, because then we would overload the 3. Can't be this one, because we overload the 3. Can't be this one, overload the 3. Can't be that one. So that must be it right here. And then that's how we finish off the 3. The 4 would overload touching any of these. That's how the 4 is going to be done. So 7, 8, 9. Not too bad. Interesting idea. Not very great puzzle, but interesting. Okay, we've got another stupid pattern one. Connect all dark cells. So how are we going to do this? Because if I make the 3, if I put this piece here, we're in trouble. So this has to be a dark cell. So I think it's got to connect this way. Right? Because if it's here, we also have that problem. And if it goes this way, well, it could go straight up, right? Because if it goes like this, we would be in trouble, no matter what we do. So it is, in fact, going to be like so. Connect all dark cells, of course. Means we got to come out this way. Can't put both of these being white cells. So how do we do this with the 4? Do we do 3 across? The trouble is now, any piece we do is going to cause a problem. I mean, doing 4 like this is not a problem. But then... I guess it's fine. That's irritating. Don't make 3 in a row. No 2 light areas have the same shape and size. All dark regions have area 4. All light regions have 5. Okay, well, dark regions have area 4. We're forced to make this one like so. No 3 in a row. We gotta have a 4. Oh, hold on a second. Like this. That's fine. And then that's fine. That's fine. Oh, they don't have the same shape and size, huh? Okay. There. Okay, weird. Huh. Connect all dark cells, no squares. Okay. I mean, we have to do this. 5, 9, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 4 more pieces that are guaranteed. Is it these? I don't know. Like, if I fill all this in, it would force that. But I don't have to do that. I could fill these in and then block here. I'm going to fill all this in, and then you don't have to worry about any of that. What am I supposed to do with this? This is really irritating. I've said before, I really hate these types of puzzles because I'm looking at it going, what's the puzzle? Which 4 pieces do I have to fill in? Well, that's going to be an annoying nightmare to figure out. Like, one of these 2 has to be a white cell, I know. But I could probably solve the puzzle with either direction of that. Because I don't need to connect it to the 20. There's nothing that says there's only, like, every white cell has to be attached to a symbol, 1 symbol per white area. Because if that was the case, I'd have to figure out how to make a 20 space that got all over, but I don't have to do that. The 20 can go anywhere it wants. I imagine this just can't be a dark cell because then it would cut the 20 off because the dark cells have to be connected. So I guess these all... No, yeah, I guess these all have to be light cells. Maybe it's this? That's really not satisfying as a puzzle solution. Alright, how about a good puzzle? Okay, here's something a little better. So white on the edge, white on the edge. We have to fill in all the edges that connect there. All of these have to connect. Alright, that's that. That's that. That's that. I believe we're done. Easy. Don't make a snake pattern of black, but we can with the other stuff. Connect all dark and light cells. So we know this is going to happen. We can't do this. In fact, we can't anywhere here. Or there. Well, that can't be filled in. So let's say like this. Nope. Well, if this came up this way, no, that's going to be a bad idea. It really does seem like I've got to go around. Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. I think I just put a black cell there for some stupid reason. Are there any more? Because I'm just making this video entirely about Lost Grids, so anyone who's not interested can just skip right on by. Have I done all the ones in this area for the day? Probably. Nope, there's a couple more. Let's do them. Looks like they're not too bad. They're all lower on the difficulty scale. There really are like 300 of these. There's so many. Don't do this pattern. Okay, it's another annoying pattern puzzle. That's got to be there. That's got to be there. That's got to be that. That means I can put white cells here just fine. Dark regions of area 4. Okay. Okay. That's got to be white. That's got to be white. Alright. Yeah, that's got to be. I guess. This really is not fun. No 4 in a row. No dominoes of black. Okay. Okay. This has to connect. No 4 in a row will force me to make this choice, though. I think I gotta do this. Means I have to also do this. How about... Sure, just a little pattern. That's one of those puzzles you don't want to actually try to solve. You just want to just make a pattern and it works out. Okay, this is an annoying pattern to work out. This is going to make the puzzle not fun to solve. Because now I got to deal with this annoying bullshit. I do have to bring this out. So now this is possible. That's not. So it does have to be this shape. That's got to come down. It's got to come this way. There's no way around it. This has to come out and up. So now the 5 is complete. That's complete. There's really nothing I can do there. This has to... This would be 7. This would have to be it. If I did this, we'd have a problem, so that's how the 8 is done. Yeah, I don't like... I have to think about this in a way that's not like solving the puzzle, it's just annoying bullshit. Like, maybe this is just what I do with the 13. Yeah, that looks like it's what it's going to be. And then I can do this with the 4. This just seems like a roundabout way to say no dominoes. Don't make this pattern. Again, it just seems like a roundabout way to say no domino. Light regions have area 5. Dark regions have area 5. No, we can do this. So this time I can't put that there. Okay. Where do we go from here? I can't make this certain pattern. If this is a light cell, I'm screwed. So that's got to be a dark cell. This could be a light cell, but this can't. And this can't. I can't do it this way. This is a dark cell, I'm fine. This is a light cell, I'm fine. This is a light cell. I have to do it this way. Because that's also fine. Yeah, that's fine. This has to be a dark cell, which means I can't actually... I do have to do this. That's got to go through there, which means that's a dark cell. Which means that can't be a light cell because of the stupid rule. There. Yeah, that's just... It just makes it kind of like tedious, but not in an interesting way. You know, I'm not like doing step by step because I understand the puzzle. I'm just guessing. Okay, so no, has to be one long snake, has to connect all the dark cells, and all numbers are off by 1, which is so great. So we know this has to happen. All numbers being off by 1 just makes this really irritating. I'd rather just deal with the darts as it's set. Now, if I were to bring this down, for instance, then that's the end of the puzzle. So this has to go up. I guess we just have to figure out which one is correct, and I guess this one is correct. Yeah, that's not satisfying at all. Can we end on a good puzzle? I mean, that is the risk of doing Lost Grids. Because these puzzles were removed from the game, some of them are removed because they're just really unsatisfying, and I just did a bunch of unsatisfying ones. But that's where I'm going to end it here. So, haha. Sucker, you watched it. Unless you didn't, in which case you didn't hear me say sucker, you watched it. I'm just making sure I didn't miss any obvious puzzles, but I think I've got all the ones I did for today. So that is all I'm going to do. I will see everyone on the next video. Y'all have a good one. Bye.